All right, everyone, so if this is your first time doing the movement assessment, the big thing that we are looking to do is we're looking to try and replicate these camera angles as best as you can. It does not need to be perfect. I know some people have different spaces that they're working with in terms of how much space they have, where they can set up the camera. It's perfectly fine. Just do the best you can do. None of this needs to be exactly perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the range of motion of the hips. So I'll have you start set up sideways. Then what I'm going to have you do is one leg is going to be straight, the other leg is going to come up as high as I possibly can get it. I'm going to do this without using my hands first. Then once I can't get it any farther, I'm going to grab the shin, pull it up as high as I possibly can, hold that for a bit, and then you'll do the other side here. As high as you can, grab, pull, keeping this leg nice and straight. Then, from this same angle, we're going to start to check the shoulders. And I know what you're thinking, Matt, I play soccer, I play football, why are we checking the shoulders? This is going to tell me a lot about your rib cage position, which tells me a lot about where you're going to be strong within your abs, where you're going to be mobile in your hips, and a lot of other things, okay? So from the same angle, I want this arm up at about 90 degrees here. Now what I'm looking to do nice and slow, lower that palm down to the ground as far as you can without letting that shoulder round forward. I can obviously really easily do this, but keep the back of the shoulder to the ground there as you do it. Then we're going to go the opposite way. Try and bring the back of the hand to the ground right there, okay? Then, with the palm facing us, open hand, I'm going to raise this arm up, and I'm going to keep that palm facing me as I try and raise it overhead without letting it go side to side too much, okay? So as I do that one, my palm is here. I try and keep it locked in this range, not so much coming out to the side. Then we're going to go back to the hips. Same position, where we're looking for one leg straight and one leg bent, but now you're going to be face on here. I'm going to get my leg up to 90 degrees. Then from here, without letting this knee go in or out, I'm going to turn the foot out to the side like that to check for internal rotation of the hip. And then I'm going to turn the foot in, look for external rotation of the hip. So just like with the shoulders, this is going to tell me a bit more about your direct hip mobility, your pelvic positioning, where we're limited, and this is going to allow me to choose better exercises for you so that you can stay injury free, you can be as explosive as possible. Okay, so now we're going to come up to do a half kneeling ankle mobility test. So I'm going to be in a half kneeling position, one knee up, one knee down. Whichever knee is down, I want to make sure that's just about directly beneath the hip here, okay? So I don't want this knee too close, and I don't want it too far back. I want to make sure it's directly beneath the hip. Then, keeping this front foot as flat to the ground as possible, shifting my entire body weight. I want to see how far forward I can go without that heel lifting off the ground, okay? So I want to see how far we can get this knee over that toe. Usually for people, the left side is a bit more restricted than the right, so you may go on to do this side, and see you may have a little bit more range of motion on that side than the other. Just hold that once you get in this position, hold it for about 5 seconds. And now we'll get into our standing exercise. So a bit of change of scenery, I've just elevated the camera a little bit here so you can see more of the total body. But we're going to be looking at two things. We're number one going to be doing a squat assessment, and then we're going to be doing a toe touch assessment. I'm going to need you to do one of each facing forward, one of each facing one way, and one of each facing the other way, okay? So we're going to get a nice, well-rounded view of each of these exercises. So if we're starting with the squat, I just want you to stand how you normally would during a squat. I don't care about you trying to get perfect technique. Whatever feels most comfortable for you naturally, because what you naturally go into is going to tell me a lot about how you move and different joint positions and different things that I can select to help you become a better athlete, okay? So you're just going to drop down as low as you can into the squat. Hold for about 5 seconds. Come to the top, okay? Then you'll do the exact same thing from the side here. So I'm gonna expose myself. This is not my best exercise without a heel lift. Holding that for 5, and you'll come here, hold that for 5. Next one, it's gonna be a toe touch. Straight on. Right here. Keeping the legs relatively straight. We're gonna get as low as we can. Holding that position for about 5. This is gonna tell me a lot about if your rib cage or if your pelvis is rotated, and that's gonna help me fix a lot of asymmetries in the body. Then from here, we're gonna be doing a side toe touch. So this is gonna tell me where you get flexion in the spine. A lot of people think that this is just a hamstring assessment, and it definitely is, but this also shows me, do you round a lot at the lower spine, the mid, or the upper spine to get into this position? And then where we create flexion in the spine is where we're creating space, where we're creating mobility, and this allows for me to choose better exercises to keep your low back healthy. So we'll do it facing forward, this way, and then you are all